Thank you, guys. Thank you. Welcome to the Calvin Dean Show. It's Saturday. Yes, Saturday. Fantasy Football Roundup. And we have a great show for you guys. A great show. Wow, happy Thanksgiving to everyone again. Those Thanksgiving Day games, what happened to the Detroit Lions? I was actually the only game on the docket that for those three games that I thought just maybe Green Bay would have a chance. Just maybe, and I thought about it. I really should have, thought about it, and I should have just did it, but I thought about it. And then the Jets. Give me a break with the Jets. The Jets. I mean, wow. Black Friday game turned out to be a dud for the New York Jets. They just gave up. I don't know. I think it's time. I just don't see Aaron Rodgers coming back. I just don't see him coming back. Why? Why would he come back to a losing team? And their offensive line just is terrible. They have no quarterback. The wide receivers, heck, I have Wilson as one of my wide receivers. I'm going to get rid of him. He's Garrett Wilson. Why even have him when you don't have a quarterback that can throw it to him, right? And the Packers just coming alive. Jordan Love looking better, right? And Watson coming alive. He's starting to do better. Man. The Commanders, you kind of knew that was going to go on. The Dallas Cowboys just destroying the Commanders. Now, the Lions and the Cowboys are both 8-3. And the 49ers are 8-3, And Seattle Seahawks now, 6-5. 6-5 for the Seattle Seahawks. I just, and the Dolphins 8-3. Wow. So, of course, if you have anybody on the San Francisco 49ers, you got to start them. You got to start with Chris McCaffrey. Hopefully you guys did all that, and hopefully you started everyone on the Cowboys and their defense. And the Lions laid an egg. The only person that really scored any points was Montgomery. I think he scored like 15 points for me. So, and then the Dolphins, the Jets. The Dolphins. I'm sure you started Tua, and he didn't do too well. And, Mozart, he looked good. I mean, the Dolphins, they did it, they came through. I mean, Tua was 21 for 30, 243 yards, 1 touchdown to 2 interceptions, I mean... And Raheem Mostert, I mean, he came through big time. He had 20 carries, right? 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. Wow. And Tyreek Hill, 1 touchdown at 102 yards. Even Waddle came in and had 114 yards, It's just... and Jeff Wilson, 11 carries, 56 yards, 5.909 average. 5.09 average. Gotta love that. Tyreek Hill, his targets, there's 12 of them. He caught 9 out of 12. And Waddle, 8 out of 8 targets. Wow. It's just... and then you look at the other side. The Jets just is terrible. 27 for 38. Boyle, right? 179 yards. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Just Brees Hall. I mean, 7 touches, 25 yards on the ground, 3.5 yard, and then even Tim Boyle, he ran 2 times. He had 2 yards. And then Dalvin Cook gave him the ball once, and he got 2 yards. I don't understand it. They got Dalvin Cook for what now? I mean, I'm sorry, Sauce. You're not really doing too well as a coach. You really aren't. I just don't understand why you're not starting Dalvin Cook. He was given to you. Start him. I mean, I don't understand why you wouldn't be. But anyway, I gave up on the Jets. I'm sorry, my brother and Brian Watson, and I love you guys, but I just given up on. I'm not going to call them to win any more games. Nothing. They're out of my vocabulary. I just gave up. So Sunday games, we have the New Orleans Saints going into Atlanta, playing the Atlanta Falcons. I would probably start Kamara. Definitely start Kamara. Bijan Robinson. They have a great defense as well. 6th Falcons, and the Saints are 7th. It could be a low-scoring game. The Saints have been alive lately. Derek Carr, I would definitely start him and Enclave. And, those two teams are, how many people really have, players on those teams? I mean, maybe Bijan Robinson, right? But Enclave, maybe, Kamara, but, what else? Maybe the defense of the Saints, right? Kind of pathetic in a way. And then you have the Steelers going into the Bengals. Bengals 5-5. I would probably start Jamar Chase. I'm sure they'll, the quarterback Downing will definitely, practice with all the reps. He'll have all the reps this week, and he's not in the NFL for just because he's a schmuck. He's in the NFL because he's doing well. He's a great quarterback. Just think about it, really. And then you had the Steelers, who just terrible. Kenny Pickett, and I want to start. I only maybe start Warren on the Steelers side. I think the Bengals are going to win this game. I really do. I think Mixon's going to go off, and Jamar Chase. I think it's going to be a great game for the Bengals. I really do. They're at home. I think they'll score well. I think they'll step it up, and they'll be 6-5 at the end of this game. I think the Bengals' defense would be a good start on this game as well, because Pittsburgh has no offense whatsoever. I mean, their offense is terrible, guys. Terrible. Casey, if you're listening to this, my nephew, I'm sorry. They have a 31st offense. There's 32 teams in the league. 31st. And their offensive passing is 31st. Wow. I mean, the only thing that keeps them from going to 32nd is their rushing at 17. The Bengals rushing is at 31st, They're passing 21st. I mean, these teams look incredibly even. I mean, think about it. The Steelers and the Browns their offense look incredibly even. Their Bengals' offense is 26. Nothing to write home about. So, but, those are the players I would start if I had them. I do have, like I said, I have 62 teams, so a lot of these players I have on my teams. The next game, the Jags, man, and the Texans. Wow, this is going to be a high-scoring game. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, ETN, Kirk. I would start Ridley. He's starting to heat up. C.J. Stroud, Dell, Collins, Singletary, start. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Pay attention to that. Ingram, the tight end, definitely. The next game, we have the Tampa Bay Bucks playing the Indianapolis Colts. It used to be Baltimore Colts, right? Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis. Gardner Minshew. This might be a good game. I would start Downing. Evans, of course, you have to start Evans, I don't know if I would start Baker Mayfield, maybe. It's kind of a, Taylor, I would start Taylor on the Colts. So Taylor, Downs, and maybe Gardner Minshew. On the other hand, it's just ugly, guys. Evans, Otten, the tight end. And then we have the Patriots. I mean, Bill Belichick's just being a complete jerk. I mean, he's not even telling anyone who's going to start this game against the New York Football Giants. Giants came alive against Commanders. Oh, hello. Start Barkley, start DeVito, maybe. I don't know many people on the Giants. Maybe their defense. I don't know who. The New England Patriots are going to start, so I don't even know who to pick on that end. And then you have the Carolina Panthers going into the Titans, and everyone's saying that King Henry is done, and they just don't have the offensive line like they used to, and everyone comes up and they they send 8, 9 in the box and they just stop them. And they don't trust their offensive passing. They have Will Levis, who is I would probably start him. And Hopkins, I want to start Henry. And on the other hand, Thielen on the Panthers end, and Hubbard, I would start. Not much there, guys. Not much there. It's two terrible teams, 1-9 and 3-7. Ugh. And then you have the Los Angeles Rams going into Arizona. Now you have to understand something. Los Angeles Rams, they have Kyler Murray's number. Every time Kyler plays Los Angeles, I don't know, McVay has his number. He always played Kyler tough. So I don't know if Kyler's going to really do well this game. I would start him if that's the only quarterback that you have, maybe it's just ugly. It's an ugly game, really. Not 2-9 and 4-6. Matthew Stafford. I don't know if Cooper Kupp is going to be playing. So look at the injury report. He does have an injury designation. He hasn't practiced. He's hasn't really shown practice, and he's walked through. That's about it. So I would not Nakua. I would start him. I think the Rams. I guess their weapons are back too. The running back. They got rid of Henderson. He didn't do too well, did he? So I would just be careful in this game. Connors, maybe start Connors on the Cardinals. Hollywood Brown, start him. But it's just an ugly game. Hopefully you don't have too many players on both teams. Then really seriously, guys. The next game is like a defensive battle. The Browns and the Denver Broncos. I'd play both of their defenses. Maybe Ford for the Cleveland Browns and Cooper. And then on the Broncos end, you have to give it up to Sutton, right? Have to start him. Williams, their defense, maybe Russell Wilson. He's been doing well lately. Why not, right? They have the Chiefs and the Raiders. Mahomes, Rice, Kelsey, Pacheco, Watson. Watson's a good pickup, guys. Watson, the wideout. Hopefully everyone starts catching the ball. Vandal Scantling. I mean, come on, guys. You got to start catching the ball. I mean, the only way you're going to win is catching the ball. If they caught the ball against Philly, they would have won. But, that's beside the point. It's a moot point right now, right, guys? So then you have the Raiders in. You have to start Jacobs. You have to start Adams. They're going to get their pick. Their defense, I mean, I don't know. I just don't see Mahomes losing this game. And I think it's most likely it's going to be a one-sided game. So, start as many players as you can on the Kansas City end. Then you have the Buffalo Bills going into Philadelphia. I'm calling Philly in this game. I hate that. And I have to call it. But I don't know. The Bills could come alive. And Josh Allen, start him. Start Diggs. Start Cooks. Kincaid, he'd have to start him. Start Gabe Davis. I would start him. Shakir's doing well. Their defense, maybe. I mean, the Eagles really didn't look too good winning, but they did win. They're 9-1. They won ugly against the Kansas City Chiefs. They couldn't stop the Chiefs coming out of the backfield. I mean, Jalen Hurts was on the run the whole entire time. So, you got to start Jalen Hurts. You got to start Devontae Swift. You got to start. Brown, Smith. I mean, there's no tight end any longer on the Eagles to start. So, and then you have the Ravens and the Chargers. Man, I don't know if I would start Hebert with Baltimore. Now they are at home, and Hebert can light it up. But it's Baltimore, and I don't know if they're going to be able to keep Baltimore out of the backfield. The defense is just amazing. Baltimore's defense is just great. They're really, really good. And their offense is good. Their defense is third. And the defense for the Chargers is 29th. And the offense is 7th. Chargers offense is 12th. The passing for the Chargers is better. It's 10th and the 15th for passing. But it's number 1 rushing for the Baltimore Ravens, and it's 20th for Chargers. So, I mean, I don't know if I would start too many people on the Chargers then. Eckler, I don't know. Maybe they'll swing him out. But, I mean, Ravens' defense is stout, and their offense is great, too. Start Lamar, start Edwards, start Mitchell, start OBJ, start Flowers. Start Likely. Likely's a good backup for Andrews. He is really good. I'd start him. Hopefully we'll see him when they're in the Super Bowl, because Baltimore's going to the Super Bowl, guys. I just want to let you know that. They are going to the Super Bowl. I told everyone in the beginning of the year, I'm telling everyone now, they will be in the Super Bowl this year. So if you have anyone on the Baltimore Ravens, including their defense, start him. In the last game, we had the Bears going into Minnesota, playing Minnesota with Josh Dobbs and the Minnesota Vikings. And you have, you have Justin Fields, and you have DJ Moore, and, maybe Foreman, start him. But, the Vikings, they're holding their own. That defense is just wild and crazy. It's 18th. The Bears is 20th, so hello. And then the offense for the Vikings is 8th. The passing is 4th, but, it's Dobbs now. The rushing, on the other hand, is where it's at in this game. The rushing for the Bears, the Foreman and Fields and, DJ. Just those are the people who you start. I already told you. Fantasy football, guys. We just want to wish everyone a happy holidays. And, let's get to it. You're almost there, everyone. Almost there to playoff time. So get ready. Get ready. See who's on the waiver wire. There are some notable latest news in the NFL. I mean, Robert Sauce, the head coach, and I just can't believe he started Boyle. It's just, and then they... And Zach Wilson is now 3rd. Wow. I don't know. I don't know, guys. It's hard to even fathom what, how the Jets, they just should be very sad. I'm so sorry for all the Jet fans. I really am. I think, you have to, I'm telling you this. Pick up Isaiah Likely, pick him up on the Baltimore Ravens. He might do well. He might do very, very well, So, and then Cortland Sutton, he's been just on fire. And Puka Nacua, I would definitely start him, and, there's just so many people you really have to look at when it comes to fantasy football. And you just, like I said, you have to plan ahead. planning ahead is failing to prepare, is a fail. That's for sure. Although there are 5 weeks until fantasy football playoffs, right? The time to trade with a championship run, mind you, is now. It's now, guys. The following players either have, concerns or bet. I think Tua. He faces the Jets. I mean, he didn't have that good of a game, and then he has to face the Cowboys and the Ravens. Think about it. Barkley faces the Saints and the Eagles and the Rams, and he's averaging 10 points. I'd probably get rid of him. Exciting. Eckler faces the Raiders. After this, and then the Broncos, 32nd defense. Bijan Robinson, he's going to be playing against the Panthers, the Colts, and the Bears. Same with DK Metcalf. BK Metcalf, he faces the Eagles, but then the Titans, the Steelers. That's something to think about. Calvin Ridley, I would prepare to launch him. I have him on one of my teams, and sometimes he does great, like he did last week. He just came out of the woodwork, and but I just so just watch all those guys. They're definitely now. Jonathan Taylor's time for a committee is over. It's the committee back on the Colts. It's over, guys. The fourth straight game following his return, Taylor's snaps increased, reaching a season high of 75% in Week 9. So if you have Zach Moss, get rid of him. He's not going to be he's not going to be around. And these are the teams that you need to start, because there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be like teams that are in first place. They're going to be sitting their players. So you're going to have to go after guys who aren't going to be sitting their players, like the Colts, I don't think the Texans will be sitting too many people as well, So, this is it, guys. This is where you can start your comeback and make the playoffs, or just fade away, So, good luck to everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Calvin Dean Show. See you guys next week.